All right. So I have some notes right here. So if you see me looking down, I'm just referencing some notes that I wrote down. I also want to address. There's 3 types of clients that I've worked with that I just want to share my experience with. Maybe you fall into one of these categories, but just help give some background, give some color to if this is one of you guys. So the first person I want to kind of address is the person that doesn't believe hypnotherapy is for them, or that they cannot be hypnotized. I worked with someone and they said that there was an exercise back in the day that they had done when they were kids on themselves, and they said you like look at your hand and you stare at this ring, and the more and more you focus on it, the closer you get, and then I think like by the end, like by the time it touches you, you're supposed to like conk out. And he was like, I was the only one that it didn't work on, so I don't think this is gonna work on me. And a lot of that is just resetting expectations. And what is hypnosis? What are you expecting to experience in those types of things? So with that being said, I had to take a moment to reassure him, like, well, I'm the professional here. You can't do it wrong. And like literally anyone watching this video, you can't do it wrong. There is a technique to help you go into a trance state, a hypnotic state. So just know that it's on the professional to have the tools in their toolbox to help you overcome any obstacles. It's our job to read you as the client and pick which tool works best in the box to help you get there. So just know that everyone can go into hypnosis. If you don't want to, you're not going to. So if I have a client come in my office and say, you're not going to hypnotize me, I can't. You're not giving me the permission to hypnotize you. You're not giving me your approval, your okay to go there with you. It's not my job to convince you that it's safe to do this. Like, I mean, yes, in a sense, I need to build rapport with you and have you trust me to go there, have trust that that I will respect your boundaries and those types of things. But if someone comes in and is like, nope, like, good luck, it's not happening. And I mean, but if I sit there and I do my job as the professional, all right, well, what brought you in today? And really start like helping those walls come down. Give them all the information they know, the law of dominant emotion. If you're coming in and you don't feel comfortable with what I'm going to do or say, like, just know that there is this thing called the law of dominant emotion, and you're not going to respond or say or do anything that you don't feel morally in tune with my suggestion. If there's something you don't want to say, I've been there in a room full of people being hypnotized, and the memory that we went to, it was very embarrassing. It was so embarrassing, and I had enough wherewithal, I guess if that's the word, to know that there's literally a room of people around. The hypnosis at the time was great, but I was just so utterly embarrassed by explaining my the environment that I couldn't do that for a while. And then we all, like, eventually I said it out loud. I got the room, like, just as embarrassed as I was. I made them play along with me in the sense of this memory. But yeah, you're not going to do or say anything that you don't want to do or say. Your subconscious mind is not going to bring up anything that you're not ready to heal. So just know that there are protective measures in place that won't bring anything up that you're not ready to address. All right, a little bit of a tangent, but second client that I have is maybe maybe for like a younger audience, a younger clientele, but very much still like adults can have this problem. But I kind of see it more in younger, in people younger in age, younger in experience. They feel like they're not in control of their emotions. They get overwhelmed really easily. Any emotion is overwhelming. So from my experience, that just comes from kind of a lack of control in your environment and your surroundings in your life in general. So just having this sense of being overwhelmed very quickly and being overwhelmed by your emotions. Let me think where I want to go with this. I guess know that that's okay. And the more energy, the more attention you give to the issue you want to focus on, like, it's okay. You can be irritated, you can be frustrated by how quickly you get irritated and frustrated or overwhelmed. Avoiding it isn't going to make it go away. So if you don't have to live with this, you don't have to live, it's not something you just have to become okay with. It's something you can resolve. Like, let's just say I have a fear of public speaking. Yeah, that's relatively like XYZ, let's knock this out. But also, like, the things that aren't as tangible, the things that aren't as at the forefront of your mind, the more abstract the concept is. Like, you can still work on those things. And I've seen pretty substantial results with them as well. Just because they're so abstract, but there's like an underlying theme in your daily life. So once you address it, it's pretty profound. And so for the third person that I kind of want to bring up is the hypercritical of, like, if you're hypercritical of yourself, if you're really critical of yourself, I fell into that category. I have a couple of friends that fall into that category, and you just internalize everything on yourself. Like, if you weren't able to get as much done that day that you wanted to, it's your fault. You're lazy, you're bad, you're whatever the case may be. And I can tell you that I've had a lot of progress through hypnotherapy with quieting and turning that inner critical voice into a friend and an advocate of mine. So another kind of abstract topic that is on autoplay in the back of our minds that I've seen a substantial like benefit by addressing. You don't have to live with that pressure and that anxiety. You can address that, and it's not your fault. Like, everything that you're experiencing, okay, I'm not going to say everything. A lot of what you're experiencing is programming from your childhood. Things that you were taught as a child that maybe your parents are kids raising kids. Emotionally, they were kids raising kids, and they put a lot of that on you. Maybe, I'm not trying to like advocate victim mentality or anything like that, but just like what's to stop you picking your nose in public? It's your inner parent. It's that inner critical voice. When you go to pick your nose in public, that voice, stop that. That's disgusting. You shouldn't do that. That was your parents or my parent maybe. But they're trying to curb a behavior that isn't socially appropriate. Instead of being like, Abby, like, you shouldn't pick your nose in public. Like, it's not really acceptable behavior. If you do have something in your nose, like, you should go to the bathroom and get a tissue and get it out then. Like, that is when it's appropriate to pick your nose. But yeah, just to the example, like, or like anything, like any social behavior that isn't appropriate, just to kind of give yourself an example, just start listening to that a little bit more intensely, and it'll all start coming up. But yeah, I had another, I kind of like set the intention with myself that I don't want another negative or self-critical thought running across my mind that I'm not aware of. And it took a little while, like, but just by setting that expectation, and if you even set it in hypnosis, it's going to be even more powerful. But all of that negative self-talk that's on autoplay that you don't even hear, one thing that I did was I was like, I don't want another negative thought about myself to go across my mind without me being consciously aware of it. And it was pretty intense. Like, I was calling myself disgusting. I'm trying to think, like, of an example. Yeah, I mean, like, disgusting, lazy, those are kind of like my big things. Unproductive. So yeah, but those are just three main kind of clients that I've come across that I just wanted to share with you guys and give you my experience on.